We would work through all of these various questions and explore ways that we can make tangible progress on all of these areas.
Both on governmental and non-governmental.
Exactly, because the non-governmental side of it is very important as well. I mean, that's something.
Which is also a very sensitive side.
Of course, but again, we're going to do this on the basis of mutual respect, and we're not going to obviously do anything that the government of Uzbekistan doesn't want itself to do. And even on these very sensitive human dimension issues, I mean, these are things that are in the government's own interest to do. And so we hope to, again, to work with them to explore what might be possible.
Well, the government of Uzbekistan has been very persistent in saying that issues like human rights, media development, civil society are very local and domestic issues, and we don't want outsiders to come in or, you know, preach us or teach us how to develop those sectors. How are you going to engage the civil society? Is there willingness in this administration to do more to improve the situation of human rights, to have better information access, or in terms of media development?
I think there is willingness, but I think there's willingness on both of our parts, and so we're going to try to look at that. And again, I think that one can point to progress in that area. There has been some improvements, for example, in the trafficking in persons areas. There's been some improvements in terms of independent access into prisons. And so issues like that. So there's definitely something to build on there, and we hope to do more. And I think the government of Uzbekistan does as well. And again, I want to stress that this is going to be a very respectful dialogue and a way to try to achieve progress without any kind of lecturing or anything else. This is something that the government should do because it perceives that it's in its own best interest to do this.
Well, and then some people can also look at it and say, well, this is a big compromise that the United States is making with these governments, and specifically with the Uzbek authorities, where, well, you know, these are our rules and you will play by them. Is that, how would you?
I wouldn't say there's a compromise. I mean, we'll always have a very straightforward dialogue on all these issues. We won't necessarily talk very publicly about these issues. But again, I think we do have an opportunity here. And I think the government shares that view.
Are there any other things that you want Central Asian governments to do in terms of helping Afghanistan, more than providing transit routes, more than political support? Anything specific that will help the Afghan people to move forward?
Well, again, I think that the United States and all of the countries of Central Asia share an interest in the stabilization of Afghanistan. We appreciate very much the support we've gotten from Uzbekistan and from other countries around the region. We have an ongoing dialogue with all of them about ways that they can help, and every country will be slightly different in terms of what they can do. Uzbekistan, because it shares a common border with Afghanistan, has done quite a lot in that area, but there's always more that we can do on things like counter-narcotics, counter-terrorism, in addition to helping to improve conditions inside Afghanistan, be it in terms of providing electricity, providing more educational opportunities for students from Afghanistan. There are innumerable ways that countries from the region can help. And so we're in a constant dialogue with all of them about ways that we can do that. And Ambassador Holbrooke and his team are also very conscious of the need to bring in the neighbors of Afghanistan to consult them on a regular basis about, first of all, about our policy in Afghanistan and Pakistan, but also about ways that they can help.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then there's a question of regional integrity in Central Asia. For a while, the U.S. has been talking about or encouraging the countries to work together,
yes,
to seek opportunities in the South and look more for investment opportunities or for doing more businesses in India, in Pakistan, and even in Afghanistan. And with the Northern Distribution Network working so well now, there are some expectations and hopes that, well, maybe these routes could be replaced with trade routes in the future, and that U.S. might actually be able to play a productive role in helping the region to integrate economically. And
certainly, that is very much our hope as well, because, as you say, a lot of these networks are now being set up, be they electricity networks, but also road networks, rail networks, and those can have very much a future benefit for these countries, not only in terms of their trade with each other and with Afghanistan, but further afield down into what's going to be very large markets of South Asia, particularly in India. And as you know, we have already transit trade talks that are underway now between Afghanistan and Pakistan that would open up the route for more trade between Afghanistan and India and Pakistan. And I think that potentially the Central Asian countries could be beneficiaries of those routes as well into the future. So I think there are a number of opportunities that can be exploited, and we're looking very closely at those.
Well, those are long-term projects,
Yes.
obviously. But by doing that, U.S. is also putting itself into this mediator's role between these 5 countries in Central Asia who don't necessarily agree on a lot of things when it comes to economic integration. Is America prepared to play that role in bringing the countries together?
Well, I wouldn't
and
say
help
that
them?
we're putting ourselves into a mediator's role. I mean, I would say we're putting ourselves into a facilitator role where we can help to assist these countries to make their own decisions about how quickly they're going to integrate. But I think that, many of these countries have relatively small markets, so it's very much in their interest to try to be seen as more of a unit, so that when an American company, for example, looks at opportunities in Central Asia, a small country like Tajikistan, let's say, is not that great of a business opportunity for them when they compare it to, say, India, which has a market of 1 billion people. So the more that the countries themselves can come together and position themselves as a wider regional market, the more I think there will be interest on the part of American companies to explore opportunities in Central Asia.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.